Alright, people, happy Tuesday, everyone! Today we are on schedule, right at the correct time, always. Indeed. Okay, people, we are back with more Drakensang Online, day number 11 of Metaphysical analysis of the game. I highly recommend for those of you who haven't watched the previous part to do so if you're watching this as a YouTube VOD in the future, because last time I introduced as I finished. Hello, Patrick. Hello. Hey, before I start, Patrick, always thank you for all of the time you spend visiting my stream. Hopefully, it's useful or entertaining to you. And just wanted you to know that I deeply appreciate your company as well as the rest, and that I just thank you for all the great chats and conversations that you give me the opportunity to have on stream. Definitely to you and the rest of the people, but precisely you join every time I hit the start button of a stream, so it especially warms my heart and everything. That's why I wanted to thank you once again. I started my non-boosted carrier in Drakensang Online. A carrier? What are you going to carry? Other people, or you mean like other? Is it a carrier? Maybe is I don't know what it may be in the context of the game, but maybe it's something that you carry stuff alongside with you, like a mule or something. You have mules in Torchlight, for example. On Thursday, I will begin a new isometric action RPG, and there you'll see other options that I have in store for everyone. But well, people, as I was mentioning, first of all, I highly recommend to anyone who didn't watch the previous part, from level 1 to 100 without boosted gear. Only quests. Oh, don't tell me you are you are following my little playstyle experiment here to recover the original feeling of the game, I bet. Good idea, good idea, good idea. well, at least my stream was useful about something, because at least it showed that the game was enjoyable playing like that, I guess. Well, anyone who is watching this as a YouTube VOD in the future, now I get to chatting with all of you and everyone. Anyone who didn't watch last part, I highly suggest you watch it. If you're watching this as a YouTube VOD, I highly suggest you watch it, because last time we started analyzing, I introduced the topic of the elemental system of the game in depth, now that we've reached the mid-game gameplay mechanics, and it was quite interesting. I will do a recap of the conclusions that I arrived to last time, by the end of the stream, just as a bit of a recap, to then get into the topic in depth, people. Why? Because I've finally identified the core magnificent aspect of the gameplay mechanics of the game that provides the abstract complexity to precisely the gameplay mechanics. That is the source of the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. Okay, so we are going to analyze that. Then we'll get into the economic system of the game. Then the grandeur, the impact of the story, and everything on the player. Now that we are getting to the ending, last time District told me that I had to go to Atlantis. We're going to Atlantis next, and I'll read the message right now, Patrick. Don't worry, I just want to do the introduction for the YouTube VOD. I do this like at the beginning. So pretty much, people, that's the idea of what we're going to analyze. So far, I just need to finish this final quest. We beat the final boss by the end of the previous stream, right? So I finished with the final boss of this chapter. Okay, so now we'll head into a new zone. On Thursday we'll begin a new topic of analysis. We'll begin a new case of analysis. That will complement this game. that will complement this game in a perfect way, so you can see the comparisons that I've been establishing so far. So that's pretty much the schedule, what we're going to do. Once again, thanks to Romika, to Emparador, to PH1 PPSE, and to Jakku for following the other day. Sorry, Patrick. Yeah, actually, one of the veteran Drakensang online guys started as well, so I test myself. Alright, like a challenge. You're starting like a new run, so from level 1 to 100 without boosted gear, only quests, pretty much what I'm doing in my analysis of the game. I do it to uncover the origin. So let's begin with the first quest, people, before I forget. Let's get to Operation Ophidian. Let's get to it so we can get to the next area, to Atlantis. Okay, let's pay the gold. Right, so well, first of all, I'm honored, I guess, that my crazy analysis and my playstyle at least inspired somehow a new, well, a classic way, recovering a classic way of playing the game, I guess. So, yeah, pretty much. You know why I play the games like this, Patrick? I play them, it's not only this one. If you watch any other YouTube bot that I've done, I play games like this for a reason. I believe, I am convinced in my analysis methodology with the scholastic method and all of the metaphysics that I won't bore you with in that sense. But the reality of the situation is that due to the scholastic method that I use, reaching objective metaphysical reality implies playing the game on the hardest difficulty possible for the first run. I mean, possible. I emphasize the part of possible. In the case of this game, you are basically locked out of the highest difficulties when you start playing your first run of it, like I'm doing, for example, in that sense. So the idea is that you cannot get to this thing that I mentioned all the time, the inherent, the intrinsic, that is internal to the existence of the metaphysical entity in the plane of time and space, to the inherent nature of that metaphysical entity. Drakensang District. I also started my character on Herdur just to be different. Oh, I have a chat. That's you, Patrick. Hello, District. How you doing? Are you stuck again? No. I was just. I have to finish the quest, and I presume we'll get to Atlantis, like you told me last time. No. I just started. No, but thank you for asking, District. You're always so kind. You're always so kind to me. In that sense, I have a nice isometric action RPG that I will showcase on Thursday. On Thursday, and before anyone misses it, Patrick District, the official early access of Titan Quest 2 was released by surprise on Steam. Your fellow stream watcher, Patrick. There you are. It's you, Patrick. There you are, your fellow stream watcher, Patrick. There you are. Smiley face. I started my character on Herdur just to be different. Because you were on a different server, I see. Here you said, Space, what do you think about the Interstellar Comet 3I Atlas? No, I was talking about the analysis and everything regarding, but yes, I love looking at Space District. If you would like to talk about those things, it's absolutely fascinating. Here, I think I can. There. Thanks, Patrick. Always for watching. Here's I'm testing the chat. There we go. It works. People saying it's not a comet and maybe aliens. I see news about it everywhere. No, I haven't seen it in that sense, but generally when they talk about aliens, there's a curious thing. Well, we can talk about aliens today. It's interesting. Last time we talked about love and different aspects with Patrick. Now we can talk about aliens. You know that the section of the universe in which where we are is in a quite curious position. People saying something common, maybe aliens. It's in a quite curious position of the observable universe, at least. Here, how do I add you guys to friend list so I can... We're very close to Earth and Mars in December, and it has insane speed. The comet itself. Wow, wow. Yes, regarding that. But first, give me here social features. Friends, this person, I don't know how I managed to add him, so I can add the rest of you. If I do right click, no. Can I add friends? Like, so I can, oh, pi there, so I can add, for example, Patrick and new district as well. You were, how do you add here? Whisper, invite to group, yeah, body list. Control and click. Aha. And it's looking like a sheep form. Okay, now I'll get to it. District, give me a sec. There we go. Then I'll add you if you are whenever you are online. District. The thing about the plants. Okay, people. Patrick, district. I have interesting information for you. You're here. Use your weapon. Blah blah blah. Okay. Interesting information. You know that our planet, of course, you know, I'm not an expert on space or anything like that. But it is true that I always cared about the topic because precisely when I had to sit for exams back at law school, it would calm me a lot thinking about space. It was like a technique to relax myself because all of my exams were oral because it was like law school, so you had to debate and everything. Well, and after I did my studies and everything, I would relax looking about trying to learn about videos about space. It would relax me. You know, regarding that there's a curious thing about where we are in the universe. It's a quite curious position if we are talking about the map. Why? Because the Earth is precisely in the third Milky Way, indeed, but inside of the Milky Way, we are inside of the third arm of Orion, if I'm not mistaken, or Perseus was something like that. Perseus, I think it was the name. They use Greek deities all the time because the Greek were the first that started doing that. I think it was the third arm of Perseus, could it be? Something like that. It's at the very perfect spot in which life can develop, of course, we evidently know that. But more interestingly, it's in a position where you can observe the universe perfectly in a quite unique way because most planets don't allow you to do that, pretty much. We are not in the exterior arms of the Milky Way galaxy, which has a spiral form. That's the key. It has a spiral form, and we are right in the middle. If you are kind of like in the last arm, the outer arms, you are bombarded with space, with the comets, with space shit, with debris from other collisions and everything. If you are way too inside, you are way too close to the core of your galaxy where there's a black hole and can suck you and everything disappears, and we still don't know what happens when you are consumed by a black hole. So it's quite interesting that we are right at the perfect spot. But not only that, yeah, indeed, district. But not only that, the other curious fact is that so we are at the very exact spot to not be obliterated by space dust, but also not be consumed by the dark hole, by the black hole. But also the Milky Way itself, the spiral galaxy itself, that moves, is at a very curious spot in the observable universe. You know that one of the biggest questions of humanity is not the planets that we have in our universe, but the shape of where we are in the metaphysical plane of time and space. It's a quite a curious topic, and in that and while we haven't learned still the shape, investigation seems to have a serious some excitement. You have been busy well from what I've heard. I can really help with confidential matters discreetly, of course. Okay. Operation Ophidian. Let's deposit Jaina's message file in the main box of the dead wall behind the grid. Okay, let's go. I have to finish this to get to the next zone, I presume. The 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 place where the Milky Way is located, at least in the observable universe, is quite interesting because is compared to the to where we detect the Big Bang to potentially have happened. Potentially have happened. It's not a verified theory that it started like that yet, but it's our best lead so far. Uh, we are located, the Milky Way itself, the galaxy, is located at a very early zone in comparison to the huge, massive amount of planets and observable galaxies that we can see from our perspective. So not only we are in the exact third arm of Perseus of our galaxy, where we are not killed by the space dust and everything, and not close to the black hole at the center to be consumed, but also we have like a privileged. Imagine, it's always this example. Imagine a cinema, a theater, in which you have pretty much the best seats from our perspective. Really, we could have a much bigger planet. We could have a habitable planet. I'm talking about. They've already been discovered where life could be possible and everything. But the curious part is the perfect spot from where we can observe the galaxy. We might be one of the first intelligent species of the universe because of the position we are in that is closer to the original echo of the Big Bang compared to most of the observable universe, at least to most of what we can observe. Think of it like this, people. Most of what we can observe is like farther away from the supposedly initial point. That's a very curious detail. And because of that, we are in a part of the universe where we don't have a lot of gas floating around. And because of that, since we don't have a lot of gas, because the echo was a longer time ago compared to what we are trying to observe, we don't have the gas, and because of that we can observe a lot of it. Probably not everything, of course, it's much bigger, that's why I say observable. Then we have the unobservable one that we can just imagine it. But yeah, we have a perfect spot. I've always been curious about that specific aspect. So regarding the aliens that you mentioned, this thing, precisely, it's no surprise that we can observe all of those things because we have a privileged spot so far as we can tell. We have a quite privileged spot, so if there's anything with the shape of aliens and everything, I have no doubt that our planet will be the first to see them. That no wonder we'll detect them from far away because of that privileged spot. We don't have gases, we don't have nebulas floating around our planet, and precisely we are in the third arm where we can see perfectly without getting attacked, without getting a lot of space debris that will kill us or whatever, pretty much. So regarding the usual typical question of the topic, do you believe in aliens? Yes, I do believe that aliens will at least exist in the future. Aliens. I doubt that planets I think they won't be so different from human beings in that sense. I don't think they'll be like in movies, because I use this logic, if the conditions of the golden zones of the planets where life develops is similar to ours, then except for some variations that could be, in general, if the conditions are the same, then the end result should be the same. So I don't think they would be so different. Maybe a slight variation of primates or humans, but I don't think there will be so much variation if the climatic conditions are the same. In that sense, quite interesting. I don't think they'll be like like in movies where they are green and those thingies and three heads or something crazy like that. Hello, kitties. Hello, flying energies. How you doing? How you doing? We're talking about aliens today. You believe in aliens? And you, District? Patrick? Who of you, out of you three, believes in aliens? Like I said, which one out of you three? I bet the three of you now. My buddies won't believe what I have to tell them. Alien all the way. You believe in them, or are you one of them? Flying energies. Here we must confess. I I must say that well, when I start talking about metaphysical realism and and my medieval, I'm the president of the aliens, and what will you command them to do? Campa. Okay, and what will you command them to do? Fix Drakensang online. Fix the aspects that you don't like about the game. That's to kill Drakensang online. I knew it had to do with something, but you should look about it after stream 3i Atlas. Regarding the position of the universe and the aliens, regarding the position of the universe and the aliens, interesting. Then I will save it. 3i/Atlas. It's the stream district. It's a probe that they launched to space. Is it a probe that they launched to observe Hubble, like the telescope, like Hubble, like the telescope Hubble, like no, to kill the SO, the alien. You'll command them to kill the SO. All right. I don't know if the developers with the yeah, there is a bunch of stuff about it. Interesting. Interesting. Then I'll watch it. Huh? I'm always interested in those topics. Quite interesting topic. It has insane speed for some reason. The UFO, the unidentified object. Well, it wouldn't be flying. It would be traveling at hyperspeed or some shit like that. It's coming from another galaxy. It's like a visitor. Interesting. See? Our countries have so many shit to deal with that Eye of the Beholder, Stalgard. Okay, now I'm stuck. Alien visitor is coming from another galaxy. Yeah, District is telling me that there's a stream that he's mentioning, 3i/Atlas, in which they are saying that they've seen aliens. Precisely. Well, not aliens. That is an unidentified object that is flying at an unnatural speed. Alien visitor. Indeed. He's mentioning that to me. Then I will watch it. I saw an alien too. You saw it, flying energies? But in movies, Kappa. Oh, okay. Favorite aliens of movies? People? They discovered in July, and because of its insane speed, in December will pass Earth. Yes, because there's a delay because of how time happens in space, I bet. Well, that's interesting news. District. That's interesting news. Then I will watch that stream. I'll watch that stream. In that, I love all of those topics because you mentioned to me there is a bunch of stuff about it because you should look at about it after stream. The so far theory that I told some seconds ago about, yeah, and tell me what you think about it after you read about it. Sure, we can discuss. I love those topics. I love those topics because in that sense it's the reason why the ultimate question of our existence in that sense. Okay, now I'm stuck. Will aliens play Drakensang online, says Flying Energies? It would be a curious idea. Alright, I'm stuck, people. Now I'm officially stuck. We should be going to Atlantis. Hope they will develop Drakensang online. Hope they will develop Drakensang online. Well, but Flying Energies, you wanted to command them to destroy it. Yeah, they got massive heads. You wanted them to first destroy Drakensang Online, and now you want them to play the game. How are they going to destroy it if they play it? Well, I can see the association now. They play it, then they complain to the developers don't listen to them, and because of that, as a revenge kill, they destroy it. Yeah, destroy and make Drakensang 2.0. District mentioned another game the other day that was kind of like the successor to another viewer that was visiting the stream to another that he followed precisely. Core Punk. It would be that one, Flying Energies. The aliens have already done it. Core Punk. It's just that the developers disguise themselves perfectly. It has to be this one? Full Moon Rising? No. Okay. Now I'm officially stuck. How do I get to Atlantis? Is there an exit? I don't see any connection so far. Fake aliens, damn it! They're like the lizard man. They disguise themselves perfectly, and we are all way too stupid to spot them. Corepunk, but it's not released yet. It's in its early access, but it's bad and not worth to play early access. Damn it! Then hopefully the recommendations that I did the other day also helped the person. $33 for an early access. No, for that then Titan Quest 2. If you have to choose an early access for that, Titan Quest 2. That it was released the other day. I wanted to play it. I love the first one. I have to get to the Embers expansion and do that. Okay, people, I'm officially stuck. How do I get to Atlantis? Before I start exploring the whole zone, wandering around because it was a dead end last time when I did the boss by the end of the stream. Pretty much. Like, I have to get here. Do I just teleport? No, it's blocked. It's locked. There has to be a portal or something. Like a boat here. Something. Pretty much. Otherwise, you can wait until I figure it out. Wait, no yellow quest. Oh, you stuck. How am I stuck, District? I did all of the quests. Don't tell me I finished the game. Stuck? How? I did all of them, eh? I did them all. The level. It has to be the level. GG, project done. No, we are not done yet. You can't see it. Move to next game. No, no. It's the level. It has to be the level. Then I'm way too much of a low level. I have to farm. Well, I'm almost at 44. I can farm a bit. Aha. Yeah, this mechanic is terrible. It's kind of like so counterintuitive. It's the level, yes. Okay, if the level, then see you in 2013. No. And I farmed, huh? Then District, after you, I can level you fast. After you help me, then Phantom also helped me by the end of another stream, and like I got a session at merciless difficulty, but yeah. If it's not a problem for you, District, of course. So you can continue with quests. If it's not a problem for you, District, otherwise I can farm on my own. No help! Failed project! No! We can start with the topic of analysis for today, or keep talking about aliens as I farm, as you guys would 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 like. I'm coming 2-3 level fast. Damn it, District is an angel. I have to. I have to. I have to. I don't know. Make him moderator or something. I don't know. Some play Diablo Immortal as a bounty reward something. By the 30 minutes scroll. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? But well, at least you are all enjoying the analysis, right? Because that's one that I wanted to ask the three of you, Patrick, District, and Flying Energy. You guys enjoy the analysis, right? Or you are not just here to insult the Drakensang online developers? I'll go there, District. Don't worry. You enjoy the analysis, the metaphysical aspect, those crazy stuff, because that's one thing you never tell me about if you like the analysis or not. I would like a beep. What's a beep? We enjoy you because you talk while streaming, and other streamers don't. I don't know about Drakensang Online XT. like an isolated entity. Flying energies, like an isolated entity. Like, sorry, I saw the group invite. One sec, I'll get the scroll. You can beep followers, I presume, on Twitch. You are handsome. I enjoy you, says Mary. Well, everyone, I love that everyone thought about a completely different reason. So you all have a lot of creativity. Let's not make this wait. I hate when people do that to me because at work or whatever. So yeah, pretty much I hate doing that. Where was the scroll of experience? I had a scroll of experience. Wait, in the vault I had 3. Yes, I had 3. I just grabbed them from the bolt and everything. Flying energies, and they don't speak on stream. They don't speak the others on stream. Well, the part about Patrick being handsome, I can only say I bet he's being ironic first, and second, after saying that, Kagastone merciless. Okay, let's go. I can expires in real time. You cannot use this item in this area. You have to be in the dungeon. Perfect. They don't chat. I invited you. Got it. They don't chat. What? But that's the point of this. Otherwise, I would be playing offline. I would be playing offline. Once again, sorry that it blocked the word follower, but it's the only way I can kill the bots. Well, kill the bots. Avoid them. You would know. You wouldn't imagine. Merciless. Let's go. It's the highest. It's the highest. Always eternal. Thanks to you, District. You can beep. I don't know how to do that. Then I will beep you. You all, Phantom as well, Ambra, because pretty much you guys, you use a scroll. True. Thank you, District. I was about to forget. There we go. Sorry, it's just that as I'm talking, I sometimes forget about it. There we go. Okay, perfect. As District is our hero and clears the grotto once again, they are specific. Then I need to add him on. There we go. It was control, Patrick told me, left, Allah's friend, there we go. Then I have to add Phantom, well, Ambra is on another server, and the rest. So they don't talk, you talk a lot. Rare that some streamers talk the whole time. I get lost in thought, actually, if I can tell you some things about me. I was always quite introverted, believe it or not. I'm still are. I'm an introverted guy, pretty much. Always had law school and everything. So on stream, like I do the opposite. It's like the opposite pole of what I do generally in real life. So besides, I get lost in thought. The passion and love of talking about the metaphysical analysis and everything. It fascinates me, the cultural changes in society and analyzing those things. They just fascinate me, so I get lost in thought. Honestly, you can see that in a lot of cases. I leave the character standing still and just start talking, because at the end of the day, like I play offline and I play silently, just analyzing the games instinctively. I started doing the analysis 4 years ago. Most of the time, Flying Energies, I talked like this a lot. Of course, without anyone even watching me. But oh shit! But I I enjoyed myself. until that fateful night. You have the it's a brave stream in which the developer of Dungeons and Dragons Dragon Shard visited me and told me that he enjoyed the analysis and everything and etc. In that sense, and that made me thought, well, uh, no one may be watching me, but if with the things I'm saying were, I don't know, interesting enough as for a person like that who had developed the RTS games, Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Shard, The Lord of the Ring, War of the Ring, and the other one that is a cult classic. The other one that is a cult classic, the Battle Realms, Winter of the Wolf. And I thought, well, if that person with so much experience developing games was listening to me and waited until I started the stream to thank me, then even if the player base, because there's a distinction there, because it would be a developer, the person would be a developer even if he played games and everything. If a person who developed games is watching me, but no players are watching me, then it's not a problem of me as not being interesting, I thought. Because if it was interesting enough, me personally, it's Patrick, this one. Poppy is Patrick that he's listening to the stream as he plays. Me personally, I don't care if you play this terrible. No, shithole. But this shithole. No, Patrick, you want to get banned. You're a very intellectual person. I like watching you, even if you're not playing Drakensang Well, that warms my heart because that's another thing about the player base that maybe you don't play a game that they don't like, and because of that they are there for the game. And in my case it's impossible because the main aspect of what I talk about is metaphysics at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, nothing, I wouldn't be talking at all if I assume the relativist stance, as I always say. By the way, thank you from the bottom of my heart, Petri, of course, for your amazing messages always. And well, but think of it like this, people. Just like you would like watching me, I assure you that for 4 years there's been quite a lot of people that haven't liked watching me the second I said that metaphysical reality is not a matter of mental perception. And when I start talking about opinions and everything, it even makes some people turn off their brains like when I start talking about metaphysics, and it's just unbearable. So what I'm trying to tell you with this is that there are streamers for every kind of audience. The problem is, indeed, that the discoverability system of this platform, of YouTube, and every other platform pretty much except for TikTok, that I'm not going to do because that's Chinese and they only care about that shit, about the shorts and everything with TikTok and all of, and Instagram and all of those things, uh, is absolutely shitty. Because think about it like this: I've been streaming for 4 years to all of you, District, Flying Energies, uh, Patrick, Ambra, Phantom, all of you, and you tell me for whatever reason, that you at least do not can tolerate watching me. Let's say I'm not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes and etc. Both in life and in this and everything, like everyone else, and etc. Nothing out of the ordinary. The only thing out of the ordinary would be that I'm a realist philosopher and thinker instead of a relativist one, and that's weird in post Enlightenment, post 1700s. That, yes, it's weird. Teleport again to map. Yeah, I can also find there's one to refresh the map. There's a pillar district that I can use to refresh the map. But besides that, as I've said, give me a sec. It was, I think it's down there, right? I think it's down there. Sorry, district, that I once again got lost in thought. See, I'm not. I make those mistakes, people. In that sense, I get lost in thought constantly. Um, yeah, it's down there. There it is. It was this one. I learned it the other day. Ah, there are some purples there. Anyways, we won't use boosted gear as I did last time, because otherwise they are all killed constantly. Then it should regenerate the map. Uh, besides that, besides that, uh, the discoverability system is shit in general, because think of it like this. You're telling me that at least the stream, I'll say it like this, is tolerable or somehow interesting some aspects of it. Let's say it like that. But in 4 years, it would have been impossible. It would have been impossible for you to discover the stream because of the games that I like playing, which were RTS. So the type of game is dissociated from the interests of the viewer, actually, because you are telling me that the interest is, for example, flying energies, that at least I talk a lot, Patrick, that the that you that I'm intellectual, or the more analytical part of the stream. You have an opinion on basically everything, not only on games, and that is what makes the stream interesting. Not this gaming cap. Poor Drakensang Online. Poor Drakensang Online. First Flying Energy said that he would become the leader of the aliens and send them to destroy the game, and now Patrick twice says that he loves the stream because of me in capital letters, and not the game itself, that, but well, that is shithole. No, no, the aggression, people. You can smell the aggression in the air. The the speed of the predators attacking the poor victim is like those Animal Planet channels. When you start bashing on the game, it reminds me of those Animal Planet the Animal Planet channel that you put on TV, in which you have fucking 4 or 5 lions chasing a single poor deer or some shit like that. The poor deer is Drakensang Online, that is trying to run from the player base. That is a pack of tigers, of fucking wolves, trying to tear it apart from limb to limb. It's an absolutely brutal situation. Um, the other aspect, besides, is that Patrick is replaying the game like without any boosted gear, to see if he extracts the enjoyment of his memories as well. So yeah, well, by the way, of course, Patrick, in all seriousness, thank you first, District. Sorry to make you waste the revive stones, and thank you, Patrick, for your both of your messages and kind words. Uh, just in case, mm, just in case, Patrick, because you discovered the stream recently, in that sense, or anyone else, uh, and I know that I stream very few times a week. Twice is like nothing for for most streamers. Of course, you have the YouTube Vault there, in case you get tired of the stream live. It's true. Ambra told me the other day that, for example, he didn't find any enjoyment in watching the bots. In that sense, he liked precisely the interaction and the talk. So well, in that sense that you will highlight that, it warms my heart. Of course, I couldn't be more fortunate to have you all as friends. Great internet friends that I spend more time with you guys than friends in IRL in a lot of cases, because in those cases the work and different aspects make it pretty much impossible. That was a shitty move. I should have been able to I should have been able to avoid that one. I was a bit slow on that one. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So, but just so you know, as I've said, there are there are there's an audience for everyone. There's an audience for everyone. In that sense. In that sense. In that sense. So then I will investigate what that beep thing is. District for you, for Patrick, for Flying Energies, because then I want to see what it does. Okay, but first, the first objective, people, is to make sure that the streams just stay for 15 days. Okay, I am already boring of so much praise to myself. As I was saying, I'm a quite introverted individual. I have always been. I've always been. So precisely what I don't talk IRL, I have no problem talking it on stream, because most of my time, most of my work, also consider these people, is developing software like alone. It's me against my screen, let's say. It's me with my screen and nothing else. So it's a quite solitary job. In that sense, only the English teaching would be a bit more social, where I speak a lot, like similar to the stream. So yeah, but it's not as time consuming. You just turn on a Zoom. You teach the person the verbs and everything, and the time tenses and everything, and pretty much again one more district. Okay, we'll do one more. Sorry, once more. I think you need like a 47 maximum. David, I feel so bad making you waste your time just to progress through zones. I feel so bad. Hey, those are like that doesn't have a copyright. How did they get? Those are Eyes of Sauron that he has. You didn't have those last time. Those are like Eyes of Sauron. How weren't they demanded because of copyright? Because of copyright with that with that animation like that. That's the Eye of Sauron twice. No, District laugh. District laughs. That shit. Not only one, two Eyes of Sauron. That's like it's pretty much the icon of the RTS. Battle for Middle Earth 1. We have to play that one on a stream. I don't know if anyone would be interested in watching that shit. But Battle for Middle Earth 1 is pretty much the icon. It's pretty much they grabbed. I think they grabbed the icon of Battle of Middle Earth 1 and they slapped it on the game, because pretty much the because pretty much the game was released some few years after that one, so pretty much they just copied the the icon of Battle for Middle Earth 1, because it's that one. I can show you the icon, people. Pretty much it's that one. It's the Eye of Sauron. No, going back to the other aspect, was it's a crown. Compare memberships. Choose your membership, okay? I didn't know it has a sub model as well. In that sense. As I was mentioning, people, regarding the aliens and what District was commenting at the beginning of the stream, the the idea the idea is that, well, so far we might be among the first sentient species of what we can observe so far. That's a quite curious aspect, and I know I've already mentioned this, but pretty much it's interesting how the position where you are determines so many things about it. I don't think we're the only planet that has life, intelligent one district. You believe in the aliens, but in intelligent ones, there has to be more that have like fish or dinosaurs. Those ones for sure. But intelligent one is the curious part. In that sense, we might be among the first intelligent ones. Like bacteria, yes, bacteria as you have. There has to be more that has a fish like that. You know that we all descend from fish, right, people? You know how life was started in Earth. That we already know. How life started on Earth, in case you are interested. Anyone who knows it, who knows how life started. And don't say monkeys, because that's already late game in that sense. It's already late period when the monkeys emerged. That's like already late, in case anyone. How it started? From a fish. The rocks. This is like already Not 100% confirmed because you can never be 100%, but it's like above 90%. This has been documented much more. From a fish, um, first, the rocks, the interstellar debris, collide with each other. This is how planets inside of galaxies are formed. This is already more or less analyzed 100%. The debris start collapsing, colliding. They bump into each other like a car crash. With each other, they start crashing and crashing and crashing for a period that would be millions of years. They start colliding. Maybe Drakensang Online will be saved if devs would evolve into would be saved in that case would be saved in a hypothetical situation if the devs would evolve into no no Patrick, that's a new level. That's a new level of stalking your prey, Patrick. That's a new level of brutality. See, this is what I was mentioning before, people, about how they all agree on that thing. They are still evolving. No, they start colliding with each other, the interstellar debris, the meteorites and everything, all of the space junk, it starts colliding, and it forms a huge mass, a huge rock that then, precisely, the black hole with the center of gravity has in a spiral galaxy, or it can have other shapes and affect the gravity, and as long as the gravity is more or less stable, the rock starts moving. If the rock, let's say, this is way too brutish and general way of describing how it starts, but more or less, it's a quite general, accurate description. Then, depending on the gravity, it will be on the outer zone or the inner zone, and it has to be none of those two. It has to be right in the center, in the so-called golden zone, in which it's not either too hot or consumed by a black hole if it's at the center of a spiral galaxy, or too cold in the outer arms of the of the of the of the arms of the spiral galaxy. If it's way too cold, no life. If it's way too hot, uh, no life as well. If it's in the golden zone, then the rock starts developing water, starts developing first water above everything, the moisture that creates the plants with the oxygen and everything, and the first thing that emerges always, after, of course, subatomic microorganisms, of course, after the bacteria, always, let's say the first animal-like form of life is precisely the fish in the water, because they are kind of like close to the core. If you think about it, it makes sense because it's close to the core of the now formed planet in that sense. So the heat or the cold of outer space does not get to it. It does make sense in the end that the closer you are to the core of the uniform planet, the more protected you are from the dangers of outer space. So you don't have extreme cold or extreme heat. Uh, it doesn't make sense that, for example, the first life is kind of like us in this on the surface, and then the inner portions. There are for sure planets that have fish or any life. Do you think if the dinosaurs had survived, we would be here today? Yes, definitely. We would have killed them anyways because of how our brains developed. Like you could say, well, but they could have killed all of the monkeys. Um, no, the monkeys would have found a way. The second the brain of the monkeys uh, far developed far beyond what the dinosaur could. The dinosaurs still exist and not on Earth. Well, technically, some species are still dinosaurs, so technically they still exist, but they technically still exist. Some the Canadian dodo the Canadian dodo, the bird, it's technically a dinosaur. Most birds are technically uh, dinosaurs. Most technically, because they survive because they could avoid danger most of the time, staying airborne. Here we need to do another one because I presume is if there are planets very similar to Earth that are in the golden zone of habitable zone. Yeah, it was Kepler 10c. There's for sure these for sure have life. Indeed, indeed. The great question is if it's intelligent life. But what District is saying is 100% correct. They have for sure bacteria and fish, most probably. I think it's not. Yeah, yeah, that's the. I think it's not the intelligent life. That's much more difficult in that sense. Where's the teleporter? Ah, it was over there with the boss. Damn it, my bad. I can just exit and re-enter. I think I can. My bad. I think I can exit and re-enter. Last time I could do it. I think. So yes, for example, there's a planet that I think it was Kepler 10c, the name or something like that. That was exactly like where like District is. Okay, I stop with the jokes. All right, sorry, no. Oh damn, the two messages. Sorry, I didn't read them. I was getting out of there. There's District already killed. Maybe we'll live in the Earth, or on the Earth, which is simulated by drakensangonline devs. It would again explain the downfall of my life and the downfall of the economy. That's an interesting theory. The theory that everything is a simulation and we live inside of a huge mind. I am, as a realist philosopher, I am, of course, completely against that theory. I think even medieval theories like the Roman Catholic ones of Thomas Aquinas and the theory of the immovable mover and everything that I talked about it the other day with you, Patrick. I think even medieval theories can debunk the fact that we live inside of a mind. But they send a signal, says District, to one of these planets. Uh, these for sure have some life, the other planets, and the other planets send a signal, like Kepler 10c, for example, the ones that are in the gold zone that have life. But the signal would arrive in like 2036 September there, and to receive back, we have to wait like another 10 years. Okay, I stop with the joke. No, 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 Patrick, no worries, no worries at all, no worries at all, no worries at all. I love all of your jokes. In fact, because they are all funny and creative in that sense. But regarding the delay district, yes, yes, everything in space has a delay. That's the huge problem we have. That's why they say that hyperspace travel will be the only thing that will actually free us from the constraints of time. Moving beyond the speed of light is the only thing. By the way, isn't the dark forest theory explains why we couldn't meet the aliens yet? I don't know what the dark forest theory may be. But that they are lost in another portion of the forest. If you have time, write it to me there on the chat, Patrick. More or less a general idea. I think that intelligent life is not so easy to develop in that sense. It's not so easy to develop in that sense. I think we might, as I said, because of everything we've seen up to now, we are actually precursors of the universe. I know it's a bit centric, human centric, my vision, but I think it is. I think if we find the aliens or whatever, they wouldn't be so advanced as the movies would tell us that they are, because that would imply that they are close to the initial echo of the Big Bang or whatever, or the creation or everything, and because of that, it's not a hospitable zone, being close to such brutal phenomenons. You need to be kind of like in a backwater section of space, like for example like Argentina is compared to most of the West. Like, see that analogy? Every civilization is a silent hunter creeping through the forest. In the dark forest, everyone is armed, hiding, and afraid of making noise. Revealing your location means risking immediate destruction. Okay, like, interesting. Have you seen the Arrival movie? Says District. No, sorry. I don't watch a lot of movies, and the ones that I watch, I will disappoint you all. Are generally. First of all, I cannot watch anything beyond 2010. First, let's be that first limits in my capability of watching anything. I think most modern movies take the audience for idiots when they are not. When they are not. But I think they treat them like idiots. Like they treat us all like idiots. Um, first of all, that, and second, you will like it. When was it released, more or less? I can more or less tell it by the year it was released. Um, then that one, no, my favorite one is regarding 2016. 2016, I dubbed it. It was already a contaminated period. It was already a contaminated period. No, the one I love, my favorite book is about aliens and everything. If we're talking about science fiction, then we have. In that case, it's my favorite book of all time. That is coincidentally science fiction. But then, if we're talking about other genres, I have another ones. My favorite one is Ender's Game. That treats, it's not the central topic of it, but I think it treats it in a realistic way. You also have the movie. It's a psychological representation of the atomic bomb of the United States in World War II. I think it leaves a realistic message that allows people to interpret history in a much more realistic way than what modern movies have done so far. Patrick, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You explained the theory twice now in that sense, so it's quite detailed. So you said that everyone is a hunter. The Dark Forest theory suggests that the universe is quiet because every civilization is hiding. They stay silent out of fear because any alien life that reveals itself, its existence, could be destroyed by others, like in an RTS game, pretty much when you are scouting the enemy. Then it would be quite similar to an RTS game. See, in that sense, trying to protect themselves. We can be proud as a civilization of that. That the that RTS games reflect that perfectly. Trying to connect, trying to protect themselves. Like the hunters, each hunter is a civilization. Is in a dark forest, it's safer to stay hidden than risk being seen. This is a better explanation. No. Your previous one was pretty much on spot on regarding that. Um, spot on regarding that. Uh, it's a quite interesting, like the fear of revealing itself to others. But for that, they would need to. I have a counter argument to that one. For that, in order to reach that moment, the civilization itself would need to be intelligent enough as to discover what's beyond the atmosphere of the planet. And I know what everyone is thinking. If we idiotic humans that do idiotic things all the time uh, discovered it, because there's generally this assumption, which I am quite against it. I I am quite against 2 or more runs. Okay, got it. District. Sorry. I get lost in thought as I was commenting to flying energies before. It's the bad part of my of my mind. Let's say I get lost in thought and I can keep talking and talking and talking about when the topic is interesting and I love it. I already teleported there, more or less. Check if you can go last mode. Alright. Oh, how did I survive that? Interesting. How did I survive that? Must have been on normal or what? No, it was on merciless. Uh, no, it's 49. It's 49. 49, and I am 47, I think. Okay. Uh, anyways, the I have the buffs on still. In that sense, we're making use of the buff. 45. Yeah, no. It's 4. But besides, you suspect it's 47 enough. Yeah, this is the negative aspect of the leveling experience of the game that another viewer, precisely the other day with Phantom, PH mentioned, precisely what PH mentioned last time, that he was stuck, and Phantom helped him as well as me. You need 47 just to be sure. Okay. Got it. Thank you, District. Thank you, always, District. We got a little guy here. It's interesting that they could have also incorporated the concept of threat in this game. It's weird. I don't know if in the end game it does exist, like a tank retaining threat, like retaining the aggro. Well, I usually call it threat because Star Wars: The Republic is called threat. Retaining the aggro. Like as a mage, you could, I don't know, lower your aggro and not be targeted while in a group. But I can mention this regarding the leveling experience. Yes, they made it extremely grindy, like to take the game slowly for any new player, because all of this would take days, days, otherwise that I would I don't know if days, if you do it for, I don't know, 8 hours straight, maybe you can do it, but at least one full day just farming and doing side quests, it may take you easily, I would say 2 days to be sure, every time you get stuck, and I've already got stuck 3 times, so at least a good week entirely of farming, I can calculate that you will lose by the end of the main story easily, and we're talking about farming 6, 8 hours. There's a good component of farming in that sense if you don't do this. In that sense, it's way too exaggerated. It's way too exaggerated. In that sense, I would have changed that. Uh, Especially if the no, now everyone is just head tank everything, so there's no concept of holding aggro, because maps are too easy. Back in the golden era, 1.0, everything that you always mention to me, every map was a group, was more group oriented, and you needed to have like strict roles to have a tank that takes the aggro with his level 45 skill. Okay, so initially, in this game, there were strict role assignments. That's an interesting inherited feature that I talked about while analyzing Star Wars: The Republic. People, you know that that comes from, I mentioned it in that analysis, but for those of you who joined after I started Drakensang, you, Patrick, and everyone else who may be watching, that's inherited from Dungeons and Dragons 4.0, which has a strict it has a strict role assignment. It's a huge difference between 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons, the tabletop game that generally is more played in the United States. In the case of this game, it derives from a version of Dungeons and Dragons, the German version of Dungeons and Dragons, which is the Dark Eye. Well, it was fucked in level 50 because only the dwarf and a tank was playable. Sometimes mage. Ranger was always kicked out because it couldn't fill the role of tank, and it dealt probably less damage than the mage. No, in that sense it has to be balanced, of course. The classes need to be viable. In that sense, that's a level design error straight up. If one class is discarded in favor of another one, straight up for all of the groups, that's straight up a level design, a huge critical level design flaw directly. But if they are not unbalanced, if they are more or less on equal ground, having a strict role assignment, I think is positive. I highlighted this in the analysis of Star Wars: The Republic precisely. Why? Because it enhances the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, as I always say, and that psychologically extends the replayability of the game and how much the player will spend, how much time the player will spend actually, actually deducing that abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. In that sense, what I always mention about this topic regarding the replayability is not the length of the replayability, but the depth in that sense, but the depth. A game with a high level of depth in its replayability. The amount of, by depth I mean the amount of time, because otherwise we are not objectively defining. We are defining in relation to other relative concepts. The depth is the amount of time it takes for the player to figure out the the gameplay mechanics as to be efficient in combat. In the case of an RPG, in that sense. To be efficient in combat, the amount of time it takes for him to deduce it. So the replayability is a concept that is affected by both the length, the amount of content that the developers create for the game, but also the depth, the amount of time that it would take the player to deduce the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics to be efficient in combat. So in that sense, when the first expansion, level 55, began, more solo content was introduced. In that sense, as I was saying, the length, precisely in that case, people. And at one point, group-based gameplay was destroyed because the roles could be replaced with other classes. In that sense, in that context that I'm mentioning, having a strict role assignment like Dungeons and Dragons 4.0 does is sorry, I think District already cleared the whole place. Sorry, District, really sorry. See, this is the problem. See, this is the downside of speaking so much. He's probably waiting for me to figure that out. Sorry, District, sorry, District. You are way too fast. You are way too fast. You kill them so fast that I forget about the. I keep talking and I cannot and I simply don't wrap up the topic faster than the amount of time that you kill them off. Really sorry in that sense. The idea is that um or not. There you are. There you are. Sorry, District. Sorry, I hate making you wait. I hate making you wait in that sense. As I was mentioning precisely, the idea is that the depth is enhanced by the abstract complexity derived from sorry, I was kind of like having the line of thought, and I got a bit lost. It's enhanced. The depth is enhanced by the strict role assignment derived from Dungeons and Dragons 4.0. In Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, just so you have the comparison, if you play Baldur's Gate or you play precisely the one that we played before this game, Drakensang 1, that is Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, in those games you have kind of like a more lax, a more interchangeable role assignment. You can multi-class. A mage can somehow be a tank, and that was then recovered in Dungeons and Dragons 5.0. That was not derived from World of Warcraft. In that case, I always mention this: that Dungeons and Dragons 4.0 is released after World of Warcraft. That's the key. It's the opposite of Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. That was first a tabletop game, and then Baldur's Gate. In the other case, now I read it, Patrick. I want to vomit by the multi-class one. Now I read the other two, the two messages. Patrick, don't worry. I see them. It's just that I wrap up the topic and then I move on to the messages. The idea is that it's multi-classing precisely, and in Dungeons & Dragons 5.0, this concept was recovered modernly and applied in Dungeons & Dragons 5.0. It was applied to most RPGs, and these games, most of them, in World of Warcraft, there's still a much more of a strict role assignment, but in a lot of games, they actually inherited the new paradigm of Dungeons & Dragons 5.0. That's the key, pretty much. So that's why you can multi-class. I think it completely, precisely destroys the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics in that sense. What do you think? More solo content is better for an MMORPG or more group content? Or it should be 50-50, but it would be impossible. It's not impossible. It's the Star Wars Your Republic, the game that you are describing. The game that you are describing is my favorite game of all time. The one that I played up until last week. Next Thursday we'll begin a new case of analysis. But the game that you are describing is Star Wars Your Republic. Is my favorite game of all time. I want to vomit by the multi-class in one character concept. In Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, it existed, and it was then recovered by 5.0. If you want to avoid that, which I agree, the strict role assignment enhances the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. If you want to avoid that, then you need to play games that follow Dungeons & Dragons 4.0. You want to play any game that derives from Dungeons & Dragons 4.0. Any MMORPG, in that sense, derived after World of Warcraft, you have to pay attention to that period of time. To games released right after World of Warcraft. Why? Because then Dungeons & Dragons 4.0 inherited from there. What do I think? More solo content is better or more group content? Okay, I will tell you that the game that exists is the one that I've been playing, is Star Wars Your Republic. Why? I said it's the best game of all time because precisely it's the only MMORPG that inherited the classic BioWare storytelling style. Well, you have all of the YouTube VODs in which I go like topic by topic, but in case you want to listen to a summarized version of the explanation on stream, Patrick, rather than watching my 4 hours, my crazy 4 hours of VODs, the idea is that in Star Wars Your Republic is the most versatile MMORPG that I've seen, because it has solo content. Hello, Jakub the Ice King, how you doing, man, from the other day? I cannot forget you. You were the 50th follower of the stream after 4 years that I spent trying to reach that the other day. How you doing, Jakub? We are farming here. District is helping me farm so I can proceed with my analysis. Precisely. I know that you didn't like that concept last time, but otherwise I would spend my time farming. Though, if I were playing offline, people, if I were playing offline, have no doubt that I have no doubts that I would have no problem farming all of this shit offline. I did Titan Quest, and I will show you precisely. Eventually, Titan Quest. I did all of the side quests in Titan Quest. That is much more brutal than the farming required for the story mode here. Trust me, I did every single side quest. So if I were playing offline, I have no doubt that I would have no problem farming. The thing is that for the stream, well, the pacing is completely obliterated. If I would need to spend whole streams just farming, in that sense, and that destroys the pacing of the stream. I have a pathological physiology even in 8 hours, and I've only managed to get through 40 questions out of 200 of questions or quests so far. Otherwise, I solo farm my way to level 50 on my mage today. Sorry, District, I saw another message. I have both eyes. One more run, and we finish this District. Okay, sorry. I will not make you wait. I should be right over there. Where did the boss spawn? You were so fast, District, that I couldn't even see it. There you are. There I saw it. Don't worry. There I spotted. There we go. And now we... right, this one. I haven't been opening the chests. Maybe that helps. The wisdom. There. The difficulty was up to merciless. There we go. Perfect. GG again. Getting a carry, says Jakub. As I've said, Jakub. Would you like help? I know, but you are already higher level than me. You have wisdom talent. Okay. Then I will dedicate a whole stream to analyzing the wisdom talent district. In that sense, Jakub getting again getting the carry smile. No worry. The idea is that it destroys the pacing of the stream, Jakub, because as I was mentioning to you the other day, I do analysis, I do reviews, I review the games on a metaphysical level. So as I've said, I did every single side quest in. I get it. In Titan Quest, I have no problem farming, but for the pacing of the stream, imagine if I told you, well, well, now people, as I speak about the topic of analysis, I will spend 4 hours, the whole 4 hours I would need of the stream, several times, because a single one wouldn't read, farming. Just doing this constantly on normal difficulty or doing the side quests. It would be boring for pay. I just find out a game like Drakensang, but can't remember the name. Out of the ones that I recommended, the one that District recommended to you the other day, it was he mentioned it previously some minutes ago. It's here, I didn't want to. Cork, what was it? Core something? Core Punk? No, Core Punk is another one. Core. What was it? I hate forgetting things. Core Punk, yes, Core Punk. Nope. Core Punk, yeah, nope. It's a game like I can't remember the name. It can be millions. Can be millions. Can you minimize this? Should be able to minimize this. I can show you pretty much all popular symmetric action RPG games will make you remember. Otherwise, I covered them all in the integral history of PC game genres thing. I hope the stream doesn't crash if I do this. Does it crash? No, you can see my desktop. There. It has to be one of these. Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Diablo 3, Nox, Sacred, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, 2, Fate. Highly recommend you this one, people. Torchlight, Torchlight 2, Torchlight 3, Titan Quest, Grim Dawn. Which I mean, you didn't recommend it to me. It was something with 2 in the name, but it's close alpha or beta. It's not the ones that I recommended to you. It's a Titan Quest 2 that has an early access right now. Titan Quest 2 could be the new popular boy in the scene. Path of Exile 2 could it be? If it has a 2, you didn't recommend. I didn't. It's not the ones that I recommended. Loki, Spacey, Sacred, Death Spunk. This one is quite obscure. We have to play it. Dungeon Siege 3, Black Border. Here I'm showing you pretty much all of the ones in the genre. Yeah, that one. Which one out of all of them? Path of Exile 2. Those games are not even close to Drakensang Online gameplay. Titan Quest Path, all seasonal games. You so sure? Wait, you mean bad in gameplay? Flying Energy's Titan Quest? You sure? Grim Dawn? Havencast, the developer, the level designer of Havencast Rise of the Mage, visited my stream. It was quite amazing game. Titan Quest 2. Yeah, indeed. The popular guy of all season games are dead. That genre is dead. Not, well, does it need to specifically have an online season? Because the gameplay will be the same, Flying Energies. Yeah, it is. XD. There's not much difference in terms of gameplay, because the seasonal games were derived from the ones that I just showed him. Pretty much. Titan Quest, what I can tell you about it. Well, I wanted to. I need to do the Embers expansion, people. I need to do the Embers expansion. I did every single side quest, that one. But the seasons, flying, there are some. It's not complete shit. It's not completely like that. Don't worry, District, that I died. You can farm it as I'm dead. Don't worry about me. I can stay there, so it doesn't bother. I wanted to show them. But I cannot minimize it without that shit. No. Okay. Flying Energies. I am not sure. I don't want to say something that I am not precise about, but I can show you some that while they don't have seasons, thank you, District, always, that while they don't have seasons, they have endless gameplay mechanics. They have endless gameplay. They have endgame. Either modded. I don't think it's cheating using a modded one at that point if you're trying to compare it to seasons, to seasonal gameplay. For example, Diablo 3, you can play, I don't know, I was playing here the Nintendo Switch 2 version just to check out the differences. And you can play perfectly offline outside of your house, and while it doesn't have seasons, the gameplay will be endless, for example. Or well, I don't want to say something that I don't know, but I think a mod of Torchlight that I wanted to explore makes it endless. Torchlight 2, I think it makes it endless. We finish. Check if you got the yellow quest in city there. Of course, always people, we all thank District that he stayed a whole first hour of the stream farming with us. Thank you, District, in the name of anyone watching the stream in the future and the YouTube bots. I hope you have it. Thank you in the name of all of them, because of course, as I was commenting to Jacob, precisely the pacing of the stream otherwise is destroyed. If this was offline, I would have no problem. And a lot of you could think at this point, well, you lazy cunt, just farm off stream. People, sorry, no, I can't. I don't have the time to farm. I already somehow partially farm for Star Wars The Old Republic offline. 2 farming for 2 would be, I would need to leave a lot of poor students not getting their English classes, and a lot of software development would go to shit. I can't. There it is, District. I think you nailed it. It should be this one. You have it, yes! Okay, thank you, District. We should all thank District from the bottom of our hearts. Anyone watching this as a YouTube bot, it's thanks to him that the pacing of the stream doesn't go to shit, 100%. Because with my chatting precisely, it goes to shit already, in that sense. So yeah, this should lead us to Atlantis, to the next zone. Okay, Expedition into the Unknown, 1 out of 4. I can't thank you enough for answering my call, Eraso. The world heart is in grave danger now that the dark dwarves... this is related to the story. I need to remember all this for the story. Not only big thanks to all who helped you, also, not only me, no, of course, to Phantom. He also helped me level the other day. And of course all of you for your company. I said it at the end of each stream. The thing is that you are all sleeping. I thank you all at the end of each stream. Is that you are all sleeping by then. That's the thing. Not only I read the messages from YouTube and that, but I thank you all personally at the end of each stream. Everyone that drops by the stream. As long as I can do it, I will do it. In that sense, as long as I can count the people, which will be for a long time, I presume I do that. It's always important to. If there's one thing that our society, it's a terrible thing, is people not being thankful. Not for another person giving you money or whatever. Not for the object itself, for the company. That's the thing, for the company. For a company of people, for people being willing to spend time with you. Is that thing. So yeah, thanks to all of you. But yeah, indeed, you spent 1 hour. District, so in the proportion, you spend the most time helping me with the leveling. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. To everyone. It's located, now that the Dark Dwarves know it is located in Lortak, the World Heart, people. The World Heart. We've managed to keep its location secret until a few months ago. As soon as they found out, they set forth to destroy it. Naturally, I outfitted an expedition to go to this uncharted continent, but there's been no word from them for 2 weeks. Ambassador Ortholax Stallfader will be waiting at the river port to take you to Stillwater Bay in Lorthak. Please start by searching for our scouts. Okay, let's do it. Yes, look at that, people. Chapter 6, How Time Flies. How Time Flies. Especially when the silly streamer only only plays the game once a week. Indeed. Okay, it's a good thing you are here, Retro. I hope you by the end of the main story, we'll get into the grandeur category of the analysis, people. I haven't forgotten District. I haven't forgotten about the storyline and the impact of that. Wait. We are headed into a jungle full of wild creatures and nature shit until at least you heard about Lorthak. Gather your supplies, we will be gone for a while. This is another one. You forgot the Atlantic quest. This is another one. It must be a higher level. As I start this one, the other one should appear. Right? You skip a continent zone. You know what? You have to go. No. It's another city. Wait, what? Shit. If there's one thing we'll... Yeah. I know what you mean. Maybe there's a quest in the other one that I unlocked. Wait. I think I figured it out. Wait. Give me a second. Let me see. The in Andraka, over at Andrakash. Right. We can go through there. I tell you what city to go. Okay. I can. Okay. The Thunder Crest. See, this is what I was mentioning the other day, people. If District wasn't guiding me for any. Imagine I'm playing alone offline. Imagine that. Any of you. Imagine I'm playing alone. The game really does not tell you what to do. Norseland. Jarls. I think that was the previous one, huh? Andrakash. I am in Andrakash. It was this one, the initial one, all the way back. Well, I won't doubt you. I would never doubt you. So there has to be a yellow quest for Atlantis continent. Let me. Oh yeah, there are 4. Yeah, you're right. Damn. So you're expected to backtrack for whatever untold reason. Let me see. This one? Don't worry, I'll grab them and the one that... This one? No. So for whatever untold... Yeah, if you did that quest, you could skip a whole Atlantic zone that is related to the story. So I would skip the story and then I wouldn't be able to go back. Damn it, shit, that's terrible. Yeah, no, my fucking god, who designed that shit? That's terrible. I would miss the part of the story, like this one, Journey to Mers, Doc. It has to be this one because this one was the capital. You got here just in time, erase the dwarfs of Merzog, desperately know her, find Hagrosh. But it would be bad for... You can go back, but it... yeah, because I would have to backtrack at a lower level. Okay. Damn it, District, you're an angel. Thank you for guiding me, for spotting that. Luckily, you were watching the stream right at the correct moment, at the correct thing. Okay. This is Journey to Merzog. Okay. So there's a probability that a player playing offline just skips a whole area with a storyline in it, because it must have storyline. We'll find out right now. Find it here and we'll bring you to the mountains. You may be ever victorious for the resistance. Let me check the last one just in case. Call is scaling me, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, we accept and then we see which ones are main quests or whatever. Then we can discard the side quests in that sense. No, thank you always, District, for the pacing precisely, because otherwise it's a mess. Another hero, fine, hoping I'll drive you up the mountain. No, I know how I will. Damn it, here. The journal. Okay, it should be Journey to Merstock. Talk to Jarson about the Journey to Merstock. here, so I don't. So there's no mistake about it. It's this exit. Okay. It's that exit. So this one would lead me somewhere else. Okay, got it. It has to be this one. Journey to Mars, dog. Okay, let's go. Alright, so it has 4 main quests, and look at that, people. See, this is what I've been mentioning. When the level design is not in a walk in the park, keep your eyes peeled for stone golems and gnomes. Wouldn't want you to cross paths with them. I think it's the other one. Not trying to explain about the other one. Okay. See, even knowing them, it can be confusing. This is what I've been mentioning about the level design. Like, you need to have played the game before. How can you tell it if you haven't played it before? Lost Legend. Report to the captain. Or is the only other one. Let's see. Well, it makes sense. Like, it's about. I forgot. Been so long. Been such a long time. Yeah, that one. Ah, so you don't. You just played the end game, and you don't need to repeat the story in that sense. Okay. Got it. Great expedition. I'm not sure Taras told you, but the Resistance needs your help. If it's actually true that they have found sunken Atlantis, then fate may be on our side. It makes sense, this one. This could be mankind's greatest expedition yet, the island, of Mistra in Helios. Yes, this one. I see Atlantis there. Okay. Then the fruit of intrusion, and I fear you can only bring us for alone. The neighboring island. Board my ship. If you think already, yeah. We are born ready. As I was mentioning, people, pay attention to the pacing. Carrying calls to Elonidos. Should be this one. Let's see where we are. Let me check. I know that the quest is there. I just want to first check. Should be this one, right? Damn it, this feels like Titan Quest. Now I'll get to the recommendations that I was mentioning, people. Yep, should be this one. It was going to send me here, I presume. To Lortak. It's going to send me here. You're now in Atlantis. You're now to Atlantis. Okay, in Atlantis. Okay. Yeah, it was going to send me here, right? To Lortak. So you can skip this. Yeah, we'll send you to Lortak, the other quest. Okay. Okay, and you can skip it altogether, this trick, right? Because I have to address all of these defects in the final analysis. Like, you can skip it. Yeah, damn it. That's so easy to fix. It's so lazy. Like, just add like a chain of quests to deal with it. It makes no sense, honestly. Story should be locked or something. Yeah, like the order, you know what I mean? It's bad they made it like this. Yeah, because it's like World of Warcraft in that sense that you can do whatever you like, that there isn't a main story, but here there is a main story with the invasion and everything between the zones. Safe sound, all in one piece. Not everyone told me for such a bullish, but you've got an iron stomach to match your will, lad. You'll have to take a smaller boat from this point on. No navigator anywhere. Match for the rules of Mitra. Okay. You'll speak to the expedition's leader with the expedition leader before anything else happens. If you're lucky, he'll still be at the Resistance Command Center. If you're not, he'll be out with his team, going over Mistras with a fine-toothed comb. If the latter's the case, it was nice knowing you, Razor. Okay, we already taken for dead. But pretty much, like the order, it makes no sense in that. I was mentioning it to Phantom the other day precisely. You not in Atlantis City and maps, but I will be curious if you will like the design of it, sounds, etc. Like the ambience. You mean? You're not in Atlantis City and maps, but I will be curious. But I will be curious, like you, instead of if you will like the design of it, the sounds, etc. I am by the end of I always analyze the grandeur portion by the end once I've seen everything in the game. has to offer. But so far, I can tell you that I like that it has all of the climates, like snow, everything. For example, Sacred 2, I recommend it so much that I played last year. The Taros Dragon Slayer sent you. This is good, I'm sure. You come at an awkward time. This is another side quest, probably. You're going to imagine mythical creatures have started to appear all over Mitra, satyrs, no less, and cyclops. We cannot show back to return time effort. Okay. I've lost many good men, missing or dead. We have to see this expedition through and through. Through though? I know, through though. We must soldier on. We need to get a solid grasp of our current situation, get out there and ask questions. Okay, whatever. Let's start with the main quests here, people. The Great Expedition. Expedition into the north. Board the Dwarven steamship and set off for the unexplored. This one is a main quest. Town Square. We'll leave this for later, for next time, or what? Lost Legend, Distant Shores. Yeah, like this one is 4 and this one is 6. The Stillwater... Ah, sorry. You know on your way to Atlantis City, the Stillwater Bay is the Lortak quest. The Stillwater Bay is the Lortak one. Okay. Okay, then I have to follow this one. I have to talk here around town. This one, if you pay attention to it, people, is like Titan Quest, huh? The yellowish tone. This is something that... Discuss the situation at hand. Since we've embarked on this expedition, we've encountered nothing but one problem after another. Mistra is teeming with legendary creatures that have somehow come to life. It's so bad that no one even feels safe to go to the vineyard. And just look at this fountain, dry as a bone. What's to be done? Speak to the expedition spell weaver. Okay, it's this one then. It's this one. The other one, that's why they have different numbers of chapters. The idea that I've been... What's that one? That one is part of main quest. Discuss the situation at hand. It's another one. Pleasure to meet you. As I'm sure you've already heard, we're still no closer to finding Atlantis out, and our water supplies are completely depleted. Still, I think we'll muddle through somehow, don't you? Okay, we need one more. The archaeologist. No, this one. Ah, they are 4 people. Okay, I get it, people. Norm, you're back. Hey, look at this guy. Do you recognize someone, people? Who's this guy? I bet District, if District watched the final part of Drakensang 1, everyone who watched the final part of Drakensang 1 remembers this guy, or the beginning. Gandalf! No, it's Master Rakorium. They just changed the name because of license issues, clearly. It's Master Rakorium. You remember the crazy mage? It's the same portrait from Drakensang 1. It's the same portrait from the previous game that we played that I played before. They couldn't get the license and they changed the name, but the face is the same. It's Master Rakorium was the original game, if you remember, people. They kept some of the characters, but they had to change the names because of the license issues. Norm, you're back. About time. I'm still listening here. While the childish hero costume. Oh, nice. You see some of the characters here. So far, I've spotted this one and the king and the dwarven king Murolosh. It's nice because they lost the license, as we read in the first stream, but they kept the characters. They changed the names in some cases. He says, yeah, you're going to scout ahead on the eve of this new assault on Atlantis. Okay, we get Shona Sherlock, like Sherlock Holmes. See, for example, that's a series that I liked watching. That was post 2010. Sherlock, the British one, and the movies from Robert Downey Jr. Those were more action-oriented, but the series, Sherlock, in general, were like... The series was quite amazing. Until the 3rd season. The 1st and the 2nd season was pretty well done, because it gets into the more technical aspects as to why he behaves like he behaves. According to legend, Atlantis was home to a people wiser and more powerful than any others before or since. Even the dragon couldn't touch them, thanks to a magical protective spell. Oh, if only we could get our hands on that spell. I love how... Oh, this guy has, Greek... A Greek attire there. Interesting, interesting. That could easily be a character of Drakensang of Titan Quest. The Great Expedition. Well done, you see. Roughly 800 years ago, an imperial army was sent to conquer Atlantis. All of the soldiers fell in battle. It's said that their souls were never able to rest in peace, and now you know what's at stake if we fail. News from Jarson. While we were asking with a message for that, with your presence, some developments took place. Our expeditions had found the first few indications that we were on the trail to Atlantis, so we sent our helpers and scouts to set up 4 camps. Shortly thereafter, we were attacked by mythical creatures. Our retreat was more disorderly than tactical. We've lost touch with them. Would you head out to Mistra and try to find out the survivors? Right, we got so many quests. Perfect. We got Lost Legend. This one, I cannot miss it. Okay, it's 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. Look for the expedition near the camp. Let's go. Of the fishing village. Let's go. Let's go in order. Here? Should be that one, right? So, pretty much the previous thing, it allowed the design. There we go. Fighting area. There we go. Cool. Magnificent. Regarding the design, I like that it covers like all of the zones. Ah, they are level 35. Damn, but you are locked out of it. Level 35. Damn. Don't forget to drink some water in the desert, indeed, district. In the desert, indeed. I love that it has all of the biomes, in that sense, I can tell you, regarding the grandeur category that you also asked me the other day. I like that it has all of the biomes, let's say, that it has snow, it has desert, it has everything. And there's one more aspect, district, that I wanted to highlight. Precisely regarding the grandeur and everything, regarding the ambience, then I can take care of the story. Have you noticed that every single different map has a different tone to it, a different color tone to it? Like this yellowish one has that bloom, for example, that yellowish bloom. While the snow one that we were in previously had a colder color tone in that sense. So it's absolutely amazing that games back in the day, regarding the graphics as well, had these different tones that were like supported by the bloom technique that they used to do. Nowadays games feel all realistic. Don't know what you think, District, but they all feel realistic because the ambient occlusion doesn't have those tones, and it takes out a lot of the personality because they all feel like realistic altogether. The graphical presentation, I mean, they all want to be realistic, but in that, by the way, by killing these grey monsters, you get nothing. Better just run. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, true. Yeah, you do those. The grey ones they're low level. Yeah, this is something I wanted to comment. Do you know if there's any way to... If there was any way to get here at level 35? Because they are level 35, I think. Or is like unavoidable like this? Because if so, what's the point? Like, nope, it's just bad design, I guess. They don't give you they are low. Yeah. So there's no way to get to this zone at a lower level, like I would have needed, because 35 was long ago. in that sense. So you are locked out of the quest. Yeah, there is no way. Damn it. Damn it. Yeah, this would be the weirdest thing I've seen so far regarding the level design. Then why do that? Like, it would be exclusively for the story, and so you have to level up to 47 to access it, and then the monsters are 35. It makes no sense. They should they could have also done like scaling for the levels as well. They could have also done that. Regarding the recommendations, that there was a topic that I didn't reply. I guess the normal enemy level will be in Lorthak, the 47. Okay. I get it. So it's like an optional zone, but it does have a main story because it's not optional. It's at chapter 5. You can skip a chapter. It's like this since 1.0 that you can skip a chapter. Quite interesting design in that sense, because it's a chapter that you can completely skip. But it has a main story. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't skip it if it has the main story. Oh well. Like, it must have a boss and everything. Like... Oh, amazing. See how it changed. You would skip all of this. This is terrible. You can report back. You can report back there. It's such a shame, because... It's such a pity, because a lot of people will skip this. And it has part of the story that they developed for it, the original devs. Yeah, many people skip Atlantis because they don't know they have to go back into the city and take the quest. No, because of the level, first of all. They would need to grind up to 47, and by that moment, they would be... I imagine the player would be desperate to access the high-level zone to keep farming the experience and everything. Like, it's terrible because you skip part of the story. In that sense. Who cares about the story, Razor? I'm watching this as a YouTube ball, and who can care about the story if you're an idiot? No, well, the idea is that while it's not the main element in an isometric action RPG, it is true. It's not the main primary element, granted. It's not like Mass Effect, let's say. It is interesting to see the world-building talent of the developers. Like, for example, the world of Sanctuary in Diablo. It has a style, it has a series of features, like characters being quite unique, like the card cane and everything, and acting according to their personalities, that complements the ambience of the game, the efficiency in giving a convincing ambience to the game. So it's something that, well, reviewers should definitely pay attention to, those of us who are analyzing the game, but normal players as well, because otherwise you are skipping that. Not only that, you are also destroying the extra complexity of the gameplay mechanics, people, in that sense, by making this level 35. Making all of these mobs level 35, it makes no sense. You are taking replayability from the player. You are taking away content from the player. All that, that's as I feared, but it's not a fatal blow. The expedition can still go forward. You must find Atlantis for the resistance. We will offer you all the support we can to help you along the way. Regarding what Flying Energies was commenting before that all season games are dead, the genre is dead. Yeah, those games, the games that are offline, are not even close to Drakensang online gameplay. The Titan Quest, Path of Exile, Diablo, they are all all seasonal games. The difference between, I'll take it as a more abstract topic of the difference between online isometric action RPG games and offline isometric action RPG games. It's a quite interesting topic. It's a quite interesting topic that I wanted to make a comparison about. Just before we were attacked by those mythical creatures, our mage took off up the volcano with his novice Norm when he returned. Rakorus or Rakorium claimed that he had left Norm behind to carry out some research. Go look for Norm. Perhaps he's learned something. Okay, let's go. We should be able to do this, precisely this quest. This quest line easily because we are not affected by the huge level that the game has. I was going to mention regarding the topic that Flying Energies commented before. The difference between online isometric action RPG games and offline ones. The difference between, let's say, Titan Quest, Diablo 2, and something like Drakensang Online, Lost Ark, whichever you may imagine, people. First of all, the first talking point I would make is that they all actually derive from the original roots of online only of Ultima Online. So the beginnings are technically online, when we are asking about what was first, the egg or the chicken. We never know. Well, yeah, definitely what was first was the egg, in that sense, with some kind of genetic variation. And here, the egg would be, without a doubt, hey, isn't this the other character from... Yeah, this guy is the apprentice of Rakorium in the first game that we played. Of Drakensang 1. Indeed. They kept 3 characters at least that I can spot. See why I first like playing the games in order, people. My name is not Norm. Drat it. No, nor is it Norman. Everyone only calls me that because Master Rakorus or Rakorium can't be bothered to remember my name. Oh, they also inherited that he was also partially senile in the first in Drakensang 1. No, he's not here. He already left for Atlantis and left me here to run some minor tests for him while he looks into the Atlantean conspiracy. Let's see. Talk to Maximilian Krogwolf in Elonidos. Pretty much what I was going to mention, the comparison between online and offline. The first talking point. Online was first, in the form of Ultima Online. Then Diablo 2 popularized the style that I, of course, think is much better, which is having offline and online. Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. But pretty much, I think it is still possible, and the synergies mode of Torchlight 2, the Median Excel mode of Diablo 2, they all prove that offline only isometric action RPG games can reach, because actually what we are trying to discern here is the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics affecting the replayability in both, as I've said, content and depth in that sense. So yes, I think offline games can reach the level of abstract complexity of the online only games like Drakensang Online. Well, Diablo 3 it's a hybrid case because some versions are offline and others are online. Of Path of Exile, of all of the seasonal ones like Flying Energies was precisely describing. Precisely. I think they should have that endgame precisely, even if they are offline, and it's perfectly possible. And certain successors. I'm sure no one knows more than me how hard that boy works, but I think that Rakorus' confusion is contagious. The lad insists that his master has already reached Atlantis. Alrighty, I shouldn't have any problems here. I shouldn't have any problems here. Because I'm already of a high level. This is it? This is the main story? That's it? No, it can't be. I cannot be limited by the level by now. Interesting. Oof, interesting people. The main quest closed there. It's just that. If there isn't a boss or anything, if there's a boss, we'll look for it. Let me check out the zone. One sec, people. Otherwise, we proceed to the next one. Still water, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry, people. Patrick, Mistras is just a village compared to the other cities like Arasha, King's Hill. But do you happen to... I mean, Elonidos. But do you happen to remember if the main story is just this? I see one quest there. No, but I want to do it in order. This trick is right. I want to do it in order. Besides, they are level 35. I should be able to do it easily today, like a self-contained in the stream. Wait a sec. Could it be that the main story ended here? No. No, it cannot be. It needs to have a boss. Some shit like that. Do you happen to remember that? If the main story, if it ended here, this makes no sense. Here, when I am taken to study lava hounds, they receive orders from repair water. Suspect the magical object is involved. Help investigate further. Main story ends with killing Mortis. Okay, so okay. No. I mean the boss of this zone. If there's a final boss in this zone, let me check. Wait. I know. You mean it's the one that Ambra mentioned. That's like the final boss of the main story. What he's mentioning. No, I mean like a boss, a zone boss here. Hang on, people. We'll figure out this mystery. Yes, I see two. I see two. I bet I just have to move over there. Hang on a second. There is a boss after you unlock and do the quests in the next city called Ashraya. Alrighty. Then let's just proceed there. This is the only way to go. Please let me go. This design, Patrick. Today I have I have all of the right. Hey, some enemy variety. There's some hope lights. The actual name is Hope Light. I don't know why they didn't. They just put Imperial Lancer, Imperial Swordsman. They should have called them Hope Lights. There's one thing that you were mentioning. Hello, how's it going, Phantom? How's it going? How's it going, Phantom? I made it to Atlantis. Thanks. I had to farm for an hour. Thanks to the help of District. How you doing, Phantom? So now I'm trying to do the story in order that District told me that here there's that most people skip this level design. Patrick, Phantom. Patrick, this is Phantom. He also joins the stream. He's from Greece. Patrick is from Hungary. You are both experienced players of the game. It's just as I mentioned to Phantom the other day. Patrick joins at the beginning and Phantom joins at the end. They are, in that sense, kind of like beginning and the end, like the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the beginning, and Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the end, like the two opposite poles, in that sense of the time. But yeah. Precisely regarding this, it makes no sense, Phantom, Patrick, that District showed me that you can only access this zone at level 47. And the mobs are level 35, 36, I think 37. Maybe by the end of it we'll have a boss, but it will ensure I'm trying to ensure that I'm doing the whole story in order. That's pretty much the idea. See, this is what I was mentioning before about the tint of that modern games don't have. Hey, it's such a shame that they designed the level design here. This is the city that you mentioned, Patrick, Asharia. It's such a pity that they didn't scale the level correctly for this zone, because you get an achievement, yes, but this is quite curious because they force you to be level 47 to access the zone, but then the mobs are of an even lower level than the previous zone in which I killed the boss at 45. So well, we'll have all of the story today then of Atlantis. I presume because I'll be able to smash through the to steamroll all of the dungeons at 47, not because I used boosted gear, but because of terrible level design. It makes no sense, because it destroys, you know the problem, right, people? You can see it. It destroys the abstract complexity uh, of the gameplay mechanics by destroying replayability. It destroys replayability. What's the point? Imagine that I let the player farm up to level 47, that I prohibit a player accessing a new zone until level 47, and then, like, what's the point? It does not benefit the developer or the player. It's weird. Um, I wonder if it was like this in version 1.0, 1.5, 2.0 at the beginning of the game's existence. Well, whatever. Welcome to Ashraya. Maybe we are lucky and they scale up the level and we get a good fight. Halt! You dare enter Asharia's sanctuary. No combat shall be tolerated here. Customs dictate that you introduce yourself to the council, the elder, the priestess, and the captain. Only then you will be welcome. By the way, there was another human that came this way recently. Oh, don't you say? Have introduced yourself to the council. Dark Slyman. Leveling was made. Welcome to the chat, of course. Was made almost 20 years ago, and they already changed it. In the past, level 55, the expansion that Patrick was mentioning before, precisely, was the max level. Now it's 100, and they didn't scale the mobs in accordance to that. Because they could have changed the level of these mobs then afterwards. For example, as an idea to improve the abstract complexity of the level design. I analyze games on stream. Dark Slyman. I analyze the games, and precisely, the efficiency of the level design should have been updated in that sense, because it's not a complex solution if we all think about it, like just increasing the mobs of this zone and scaling them up to 100. In that case, from 55 to 100. In Star Wars: The Old Republic, my favorite MMORPG, for example, they added an even better solution, which is level scaling. Like, you are scaled to the level of the zone in the ranges of the beginning and the end of the levels of the zone, for example. And indeed it was a problem, because it was the same from 1 to level 50, and pretty much the level got to 80, and now it's scaled, for example. And it's even better because it adds a replayability to the initial zones if the person wants to do all of the side quests, for example. The Shadow Beasts have sung of your arrival. A long time ago, Imperial men came and attained our knowledge of architecture and seamanship. They returned with soldiers, but we no longer hold a grudge. That was some time ago. Oh, it pains me so to witness the serene glory of our god, Oceanus, disrespected by those who defile his temples and deface his icons, Eraser. Wouldst thou hunt these vandals for me? There we go. Divine. The Spellweaver Rakorum. This is from the first game, from the Dark Eye that we played previously, people. Rakorium, Master Rakorium. Tells me, though, now we'll get into the topic of analysis, because today we were talking about the aliens, and we chatted so much with you, Patrick. So far from stream, I seen from Drakensang Online, like the dev streams that District told me, and Patrick also told me, and Psychonosis told me, the three of them, that they do. They probably lost their main programmer and have a huge problems remaking the code. Most of the new things are just added on top of the existing code. Yeah. Patrick, you've been mentioning that to me. Phantom, you as well. District also told me that. Flying Energies as well. That the development cycle of Drakensang Online has been quite a problem. Uh, I told them precisely, and I tell you as well, Dark Slyman, that generally when I develop websites, in that sense, not games, but it's the same philosophy. You are prepared like to learn modern programming languages, because they are the ones that the market demands as software developers, pretty much. And then when you are assigned to a project that uses an older code, well, if I were paid a decent sum, I would go through the process of learning the language, which is what the developers are not precisely doing. So Reroquest tells me those seekers Atlantis blessed cultural artifacts, all the items were left behind in Atlantis are most likely found by new owners now. We ourselves will not fight for them. They now belong to those who found them. You like the music in Atlantic, says District. I definitely love it. I love the ambience. I love that they designed their race specifically for it, because it makes precisely the ambience. What's this stream not working? There we go. It makes the ambience of the zone have a degree of cohesion that in a lot of games, or in a lot of isometric action RPG games, you don't have. I love that they developed a race for this. The Eternal Battle. The time to the process quickly. Though came in earnest search for. Hey, this is terrible. This zone is the one with like the deepest component of story, and 99% of players will skip it. This is disgusting. Why not? Damn it! They should have just added level scaling. It would increase the abstract complexity of gameplay mechanics, and it would even out the level design. So the reason is just because it was up to it kind of like the level design is outdated uh, compared to the level scaling that they did. Okay, so the zones have been updated in accordance to the expansions that they've been releasing because of what Dark Slyman said previously. I get it. Okay, so it's like still designed for the 1 to 50 experience, or 55, pretty much the base experience. Question for knowledge. For those who have bound so long. Hey, this is terrible. I feel sad now. It's a whole zone that most will skip District because of all of the things that I had to do to access it at the beginning of the stream. Without you telling me, it would have been live well, my son. Page about the visit. I welcome you to Asharia. This place served the people of Atlantis as a sanctuary before the tides rose and destroyed Atlantis thousands of years ago. Don't be alarmed, but the past still lives behind us. Our wise priestess Jaladu has sensed something unnatural in the temple sector, where our god Oceanus has battled the gigantic snake Gorga for centuries. There are two bosses in this zone. It's also curious. I worry. Travel there and descend to the deepest level. See if you can discover the Gorgon's plans. Okay, the poison chalice. Ever since Jaladu learned that the Gorgons use poison to control their servants. See, this is world building. It's so sad that a lot of people will skip this, because this is world building. It took a lot of effort to the original developers to create all of these. Also, the soundtrack, as District was highlighting precisely, it makes me feel sad that stupid misalignment in level design. They should just add level scaling. It's like basic. And it would also add the replayability to the gameplay mechanics, to the level design of the game. It would give the new players more zones to farm. Also leveling evening out the conflicting leveling experience that you could see at the beginning of the stream. Send clues for the poisonous menace and take them to Julda. She might lay our fears to rest. Dark Slyman, I like that there are players that analyze and actually go through story of this game. The real grind starts at level 100, precisely like Patrick and District have been telling me, and the whole world of this game can be speedrun in less than a week, and you may never get back into those maps. No, I play through the story. I'm only playing. I'm playing through the storyline precisely because, well, as I said, I review games with my crazy metaphysical system and analysis and everything. I pretty much do not. I am a scholastic philosopher. Sorry that the rest of you already know all of this, but I tell this to every newcomer to the stream. I'm a scholastic philosopher, so I do the opposite. I attempt to do the opposite of what most reviewers do. Most reviewers like to impose their mental perception to metaphysical reality because of the consequences of the Age of Enlightenment, something that happened in the 1700s with a quite interesting guy called Immanuel Kant. Pretty much he was living in the part of northwest of Poland, in the zone that is now um, Kaliningrad, I think. It's Kaliningrad now, right now. Before it was Königsberg, it was German. It was Prussian, actually. Well, there Immanuel Kant in the 1700s developed that, and basically, just so you know, Dark Sliman, because you may hear me say weird stuff about metaphysics and those things. Uh, Basically, he developed relativism. I am the opposite. Basically, I try to abstract my mental perception from metaphysical reality and try to adequate the perception to the reality instead of unifying metaphysical reality, objective plane of time and space, my perception of metaphysical entities, with my opinion, with my mental perception. I do the opposite. I try to adequate, to adapt my perception to metaphysical reality rather than unifying them. Nowadays we have the opposite. We have a relativist stance of life in most cases. So because of that weird analysis system and everything, I review the games in that different way, and it implies that to get to the objective nature of the metaphysical entity, see that it had a relationship, to get to the objective nature of a metaphysical entity, in this case a game, how can I get to it without exploring the story? When it's a component that adds to the cohesion of said entity, pretty much, because it has an intrinsic existence. That's the key. The story is intrinsic component of the existence of the metaphysical entity. It is internal to it. That's the thing. Most people will skip, like you are describing, precisely like what you are describing, because they interpret the game from a relativist stance. That's precisely the case. I know it was maybe a bit more than what you maybe asked for in the or what you told me about in the comment, but pretty much that's the reason. I have 3 characters and I have no idea what's the story XD. Well, precisely. See that the theory applies to the practice. Patrick, what do you think of the Great Filter Theory, which happened a lot of times in history, like World War I and II? Something extremely rare, difficult, or catastrophic happens during the development of life, which is why civilizations almost never reach the level of interstellar travel. Ah, yeah, we were talking about the aliens previously. Morale, give me a second that I read the quest, and now I get to your topic, Patrick, and to the part of analyzing them, like that, skipping the story. And within 8 years, several of our brothers and sisters have been kidnapped and are now being held prisoner in Atlantis. Mood and morale are dark. The decision to openly engage in hostilities is before the council. Please lend thy persuasive words to mine and convince the council members. Okay, now I'll get to it, Patrick. Okay? I don't forget. It's just that I will get to the. I wanted to wrap up a bit, to lay out a bit the topic of analysis, and I'll get to it. I'm so much interested in your opinion instead of this tragic being game. Sorry, okay, Patrick, we can do it. We can do it in order, in a different order. No, Patrick, no. See, you are all, as I've said. Well, for those of you who don't know precisely, Patrick has been playing the game since the beginning, and he misses the old version. The same goes um, for the rest of you that you all told me that the pretty much the first versions of the game were much better. Sorry, no worries, Patrick. So about the great filter theory that something catastrophic happens, never reach the level of interstellar travel. Well, uh, like World War II or what's with this thing that this doesn't move. Let's begin with that quest as I get to that one. Okay, I think a lot, Patrick. The idea is that uh, the filter is quite natural in a lot of cases, more than what I could probably tell you. I think it's natural, the filter. I don't think it's planned. So far, I don't see anything that to prepare to stand before the ocean. As I see a struggle Gorga beneath his temple, is a serpent sent by the first woman has not only poisoned our people, but keeps the god enslaved in eternal battle. Only by interpreting his eternal battle cast to the ocean and pray for his protection should do succeed. And rather pray to him, shall he receive a sign of his favor until the prayer has been answered. Okay, then I get to that one, and then I'll continue with the topic of analysis. Pretty much, defeat Gorga in the Desecrated Sanctum. Let's go. Pretty much, I think that the idea that there's a filter, a catastrophic event that will kill our civilizations frequently, so we don't reach interstellar travel. I think it does not describe completely reality, because if that was the case, had we remained in caves, would be my counter argument. More or less, people. If someone would have remained in caves, there are civilizations that remained in caves that didn't take part in world wars and the catastrophic events, Patrick, and those would have reached it. I think it's a natural limitation. They are still 38 here. We may reach a level in which, we need to find resources from other planets before it runs out. Maybe the filter is the resources running lower and lower, not just war and the end of the world type shit. No, I think no. Well, first, I think governments do have anti anti-reproduction policies in some periods of time in history. I think that is clear. If it's war or it's a bit more subtle, I do think governments do have them. But you mentioned it like as if it is natural. If it is natural, no, I don't think naturally it happens in that sense. I don't see any alibi that it is caused by a natural mean. The filter, I would say, it's artificial by governments. That there's a point in which they cannot pay the pensions, for example, and I don't know, something like a worldwide virus erupts in, supposedly, we've never been told, China. I don't know. Could happen in some weird universe, very far in a galaxy far away, like in Star Wars. In that sense, it could happen. That I can suspect that. Because at the end of the day, if anyone was told what was the real reason behind what we lived back in 2020, we weren't given a precise reason. And the pharmaceuticals got a lot of money. For example, artificial, yes, I agree with you. Natural, I don't see any causes so far. Regarding getting the resources from another planets, the filter is the resources running low? No, because I think the resources could eventually be produced like artificial food and that shit. I know that nowadays, I also agree it would be disgusting and terrible, a terrible idea. in that sense that they were creating molecularly generated food, but it could easily be done. Besides, our organisms would adapt, Patrick, in that sense. When we didn't have, for example, cooked food, our ancestors, the apes and everyone, they thrived. They still thrived. So we would adapt to that other situation. I think that. So, I think it's more artificial than natural, first the source. And second talking point would be, Patrick, that precisely the resources could be created artificially. In that sense, I would make that distinction between natural and artificially. Here comes the big boss, though. All right, then let me get into the other topic precisely, that I was mentioning to Dark Sliman precisely regarding the analysis. Yeah, but it's gonna be level 40. Well, maybe it's a challenge still. It won't give me XP, but yeah, pretty much I analyze this. Hey, look at that! It doesn't take a lot of damage. Alright, he's not resistant against that one. Okay. Yeah, last stream we did one that was quite brutal with the mechanics. Precisely as I was mentioning, last time we analyzed the abstract complexity of the elemental system as an introduction, but today I wanted to highlight the most beneficial aspect of the elemental system of the game. Precisely, Patrick, that you now despise the modern version of the game so far. I can highlight to you a positive element that I bet maybe you'll find the reason why I highlighted it as extremely positive. In this game, the elemental system is the opposite of Sacred 2. If we have to measure the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, I, Oceanus, god of the seas, have heard your request. You see, the god is a whale. Look at that, so cute. The little whale, the big whale there, so cute. That's the god. You seek protection of my waters for those brave enough to confront the fire of our oldest enemy, the dragon. Your prayer has been heard. Travel to another time. Really? How do I do that? Speak to Jalo. Okay, we have to go back. The elemental system. The extra complexity of the elemental system, people. I was mentioning last time, but I wanted to complete the topic today. This game has an active offensive, as you can read from the title description, an active offensive elemental system. And it's the most positive element so far that I've found about the gameplay mechanics. Yes, we've highlighted mistakes regarding the level design, everything that you guys have been complaining about, precisely about the problems with the level design, not having a correct pace regarding the experience curve of the game, and everything, and etc. But if there's one positive thing, live well and be blessed, okay? We still have to do these ones. Return to the patient camp? No, we have to do the other ones. The Swallowed by the Sea. Welcome to Asharia. Speak to Shara. Look for a Bliss Cannon in the Graveshard Feeder Bottom. Let's go. It has an active offensive elemental system. Let's measure the abstract complexity generally in games. I know it's a quite extensive topic, but it needs to be addressed because it's the most positive aspect. This game has an active offensive system. Let's compare it to Borderlands, for example. In Borderlands, you have your shield and your health bar. There is no defensive elemental system. Alright, we need to kill these mobs to proceed this part of the story, people. But you don't have an elemental system to deal with in terms of your resistances. If you know what I mean. Think about Borderlands to start with the lowest point of abstract complexity, right? You just wait, I have to sell my shit before doing all of that. Let me sell my shit before doing that. In that game, you have an offensive elemental system. You can deal electric damage, shock damage, fire damage, poison damage, etc. But when defending against NPC attacks, here I can sell this here, a merchant. When defending against NPC attacks, it's all the same for the player. At the end of the day, it's all the same. At the end of the day, it's all the same, people. Because you don't have a defensive elemental system in place for the gameplay mechanics. Okay, that's the lowest point of abstract complexity, let's say. Okay? You just don't have an elemental system in place when the player has to defend against NPC attacks, right? You do have an offensive elemental system. You deal different types of elemental damage. Okay. However, in both cases, citing another game like Diablo 2, another isometric action RPG examples, or even World of Warcraft, in those games, you have a defensive elemental system and an offensive elemental system. Let's say this is the average. In Diablo 2, for example, you have different elemental resistances, like here, it's like here, passive, exactly the same, and you deal some small different types of damage. It's used both offensively and defensively. And why do I highlight this? Because having an elemental system